the global phenomenon of Quicksilver. Like last year, I think everyone was talking about this book and they had like polarizing views. There were a few people who loved this. They said it was the best book of 2024. They had read nothing like it ever before, which I would disagree with. But there was other people who were like, oh, are you reading the same book that I am reading? Like, are people holding you onto a gunpoint that you're giving it a 5-star and saying such amazing things about this book? This book doesn't deserve that. So I had to go and read it for myself and make up my own view. And I would have to say, I'll just give you a spoiler alert, I did enjoy this book. Having said that, I did find it was very similar to something. For people who have watched both Friends and How I Met Your Mother, sometimes do you ever wonder that How I Met Your Mother is basically very similar to Friends? It's like packaged into a new bottle with similar relationships, with similar dynamics, and then it becomes another series. Very enjoyable still, both of them are really enjoyable. But similar vibes, the lead who struggles to find true love, check. The mother of the group who is holding everyone together, check. The father of the group who is probably unemployed for a while, finds a difficulty in fertility issues, check. The new girl in the town who joins this group of friends, check. Bachelor or playboy who's actually very good at heart, check. And then there's obviously, if you have seen the series, you know, like relationships happen which have similar dynamics in both the series, but both are very enjoyable. So when I was reading Quicksilver, I found it was, I've seen it somewhere before, I have read it before, the themes are a bit borrowed. So let's talk more about it. What is Quicksilver about? It's this girl who is living in poverty and she stumbles herself into a magical world and she meets this mysterious, broody, grumpy sunshine guy. Great cheekbones, great abs, but no smiles. Smiles too little. A traumatized human being. And then you go on a quest together to save his people, to save himself, and then the world just tells us more. So there is fae, there is magic, there is spice, a lot of spice, and romantasy. In general, a very generic romantasy. Who is Quicksilver for? If you're in a mood for a classic romantasy with a main character who is like a bit of a grumpy sunshine and enemies to lover, and you don't want to put your mind so much into a world, you don't really want to think a lot, you just want to have a fun time while you're reading a book, you want a book which is more addicting, the writing style is very addictive, Quicksilver is then a book for you. Who is Quicksilver not for? Now, on the other hand, if you want something more intricate in world building, you want some original, unique ideas, you wanted to see a different kind of relationship, or maybe you just don't want a male MC who treats everyone like a piece of trash and he's always very cocky and he's not treating people well, and you just want someone who's more charming in another way. You want someone who you would be like, oh my god, that guy, oh, I wish he was in my life. Then this book is not for you. Don't go into this one. So you need to have your expectations clearly set. So this book is 4.35 stars currently in Goodreads and it's rated like 560k people. So a lot of people have read this book, and if you see these stats and you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a masterpiece, something different, if you're going with that expectations, I'm telling you from now, you will be disappointed. You need to go to Quicksilver to just have a good time. Now, talking about the magical elephant in the room and similarities between Quicksilver and ACOTAR. ACOTAR, or A Coat of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and A Coat of Mist and Fury, ACOMAF. These are the first two books. She has, like, there's more books of the series, but these are the only two I have read. And this was the first Romantasy series which I have read, and I have really, really enjoyed this book. So when I was reading Quicksilver, you know, like sometimes I'm watching a movie and I'm like, this seems familiar. And I'm like, probably this movie is going to head into this direction. And I'm watching a movie and then it dives into this direction. And I'm like, I've seen this movie before, but then I haven't seen that movie before. I keep thinking, and then by the ending, I'm like, I knew this was going to happen. How? That's because that movie was basically like a dubbed version of maybe a Spanish film in an Indian language film. So this is a feeling I got when I was reading Quicksilver, and I'm like, it seems very familiar. It seems something I have read before. Now let's talk about it, like the mind connection element. Then there's this girl who is born into poverty and she goes into a magical world and she needs to save her family. And then there's this mysterious broody guy who is a bit cocky and then this guy is also like probably held captive for a long number of years, and there are other elements which felt very similar or which felt very borrowed, which kept nagging me throughout. Now, having said this, I feel like a lot of people also say like ACOTAR did not invent Romantasy. There are other books which were probably written before this and they felt like ACOTAR itself was a borrowed version of that, and that might happen when you think of a genre like Romantasy which is being done over and over again and books feel very similar to each other, and this could just be the case, but this thing nagged me a little bit, and that's why I'm discussing about this a little bit over here in details. Mainly our main character, whose name is Kingfisher. It's too funny. Kingfisher is like this Indian beer. So whenever I was like reading about Kingfisher and they've written it in a serious tone, like Kingfisher's going to go and save the whole Fae world, and I'm just like laughing because I'm thinking about beer. So off track. But if I compare Kingfisher if I compare him to Rysand in ACOTAR, I think Rysand is much better to me. Having said all of this, how did I find Quicksilver to be? I have rated Quicksilver a solid 4 stars. So even despite all the similarities I have just said, despite saying like, yeah, I have read this before, I ate this book up. It's like around 600 pages and I read it in 2 settings. Like I was literally reading it till 3:30 a.m. one day just to finish it. I feel the book does get better. It introduces more unique elements as you progress through it. I initially was very iffy about Kingfisher's character, just the way he was treating everyone, and I just didn't feel he was a nice person. But as I read more on it, it explains. Like they explain why he is the way he is. The chemistry keeps on building. There are like really good spicy stuff in here in 600 pages to keep you a little bit more entertained. I was intrigued by the very ending of it. I know the new book is probably going to come this year, so it's not something I'm just like eagerly waiting and I'm going to buy as soon as it comes out, but I'm going to read it. I'm going to give it a try, and it definitely kept me hooked. So I mean, I don't care. You know, I really don't care if it's not deep. I really don't care if it's very similar to something. So I won't give it a 5-star, but then if I had a good time, I enjoyed it and I have read it very fast, it's a book which deserves a 4 stars. And there must be something about it which a lot of people are reading and finding that they like about this book, or some people love about this book. But at the end of the day, I think girls dig these morally great, tortured male characters who are going through a lot, who are emotionally damaged, and then they find this girl who changes their life and they're going to risk everything for them. And you probably give me 15 books on this, I might enjoy all 15 of them continuously. Even if it's borrowed, even if it's copied, I don't mind reading a lot about it, and I feel a lot of girlies out there feel the same way. If you do, please comment below if you're that person. So Kingfisher, at the end of the day, what I would say is like it's basically a book which you shouldn't put a lot of mind into. Just go into it with not a lot of expectations and just to read a good romance. So for me, I feel it keeps getting better as you go through the book. Have a fun time with it, enjoy it, wait for the second part and read it. Don't read too much into it. So that's the video, guys. That was my thoughts on Quicksilver. Please drop on a comment below how you thought this book was, and let me know if you have found some unique Romantasy books. I would love to experiment on something very different. Even if they're not very popular, I would definitely love to give them a try. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share more of your thoughts below, and join us for more of cozy chats. This is also another book, a very popular Romantasy, The Fourth Wing. Again, very polarizing opinions which I've heard. So again, I'm going to read it and make my own mind about it. Until then, good night, sayonara, shubhratri.